Okay, today we're solving polynomials in factored form. So whenever I have factored form, it means that I have an equation that is a linear binomial, which means that it is of the first degree and it has two terms, just like x plus 2 and x minus 4 are both two terms, and I'm multiplying them by each other. Zero product property tells us that if I have a times b, so if I'm multiplying some number a and b and it equals 0, that means that either a has to equal 0 or b has to equal 0. So if, again, I have my example here. So in this example, I have the same binomials right here. So if x plus 2 times x minus 4 is equal to 0, that means that either x plus 2 has to equal 0 or x minus 4 has to equal 0. Solution, root, and 0 are all the same thing to an equation. So if I say find the solution, the root of the 0, they're all the same thing. It's always going to be my x-intercept. And what we're going to be doing today is finding our solutions, which are also our roots and our zeros. Using the zero product property, so what I'm going to do is, whenever I have a problem, I'm going to separate each linear binomial and then set it equal to 0, which is what I just did up here. I started off with x plus 2 times x minus 4, and then I set them both equal to 0. So I have x plus 2 is equal to 0, and x minus 4 is equal to 0. Then I'll solve each one, which just means I'm going to get x by itself. So for these examples, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate them into 3 separate problems. So the first one I have is 2x plus 6 is equal to 0. Then I have 3x minus 12 is equal to 0. And then x minus 2 is equal to 0. So I subtract 6 from both sides. Then I have 2x is equal to negative 6. Then divide it by 2. And so I get x is equal to negative 3. This one I add 12 to both sides. So 3x is equal to 12. And divide it by 3 on both sides. To get x is equal to 4. Last one, just add 2 to both sides. So x is equal to 2. That's my final answer. And those are, all 3 are my solutions, all 3 are my roots, all 3 are my zeros. Here, whenever I have these one, the only thing that's different is I have a 5 out in front, and then I have a squared at the end, and it actually doesn't change anything. So I still separate these into 3 separate problems. I have 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, 3x minus 2 is equal to 0, and then x minus 1 is equal to 0. And do the same thing. Minus 1, divide by 2, divide by 2. So x is equal to negative 1/2. Add a 2, divide by 3, divide by 3. X is equal to 2/3. And then add 1 to both sides. X is equal to 1. And all 3 of those are my solutions to my equation. They're my roots. They're my zeros. And that's what we're doing for our homework tonight.